So there's a very interesting concept that I want to talk about today. It was something that Modern Wisdom, or Chris Williamson, the guy who has the podcast, he kind of came up with this idea on one of his recent episodes, and it was very interesting to me, and it was something that I just wanted to expand upon myself. Him and a few other interesting intellectual voices online kind of came together, made this idea, right? He took some excerpt from someone else. I assume that was an interview on his show that he learned from it. And it has to do with a couple things, right? It has to do with the relationship between motivation, discipline, and obsession. And it's very interesting to me because I look at my life and I kind of take the journey that I was on, the journey to become a pro footballer. Again, it might not be over, but I take my journey, I take my experiences, and I look at those three things. Motivation and discipline are probably the two most used words in like the online self-help, self-growth space. And they're very, very overused, I must say. But obsession is something that is a little bit less used. It goes a little bit more under the radar, but it is actually a very important feeling. It's a very important state to be in. So very quickly, I'll just give a quick overview, right? Motivation. Motivation is you want to do something. You're in the mood to do it. You're feeling motivated. You're feeling driven, right? To do the thing that you want to do, whatever that may be, whatever journey goal you have. You're motivated. You actually feel up to it. You want to do it, right? So there is no friction, no issue in actually going in and pushing through and doing it. Discipline is when you actually don't want to do it, but you grind your teeth and do it anyway. That's basically the explanation of discipline. You do it anyway, despite not wanting to do it, despite not really feeling up for it, feeling a bit tired, whatever it may be. You do it anyway. That's discipline. Those two are kind of easy to understand. Obsession is another level. Obsession is you're so into it that either A, it doesn't, like, you do it and it's automatic. Like, it doesn't even feel like a problem. It's not even a challenge. It's not even anything you think about. It's just now like a part of you. That is how obsessed you are with it. Or the obsession is actually like it goes another level, where sometimes obsession is it actually feels like the thing, the goal, the dream, it's pulling you in. So you don't have to actually exert a lot of extra effort. It's actually pulling you in rather than you having to go towards it. That's that level of obsession. Obsession, of course, you see it as like you're constantly thinking about the thing, whatever, the goal, the dream, and you're completely focused, laser focused on the goal that you're trying to go and reach. And obsession, it can come and go. That's the problem, right? It all comes and goes. Motivation comes and goes, discipline comes and goes, obsession comes and goes. But obsession is probably the top of the ladder. If you want to go and you want to achieve a great goal, a big dream, especially if it's like 1,000,000 to 1 odds, right? Like it's super hard to get there and you really want to make it happen. I, of course, look at myself, my football journey, and I relate to that in that way. You don't want to be motivated or disciplined. You want to be obsessed with it. You want that to be a part of your life, and you want that to be the only thing that you're thinking about, right? And that's kind of how you're going to use that energy to move forward. Because if you're motivated, motivation comes in very, very short supplies. It comes in the smallest supplies. It will come and go. You'll feel motivated one day to go work out or go pursue the goal or whatever, make steps towards the goal, and then another day you won't feel as motivated. Discipline, it also comes and goes. Discipline, it's related to willpower. You only have a certain amount of willpower, certain amount of grinding your teeth before you just kind of submit and you're like, I'm not going to do it. Discipline is when you're not motivated to do something, you do it anyway. You do it despite not wanting to. You can only do that a certain amount of time. Whereas if you're absolutely, truly obsessed with something, it kind of overrides all of those internal mechanisms. You won't need motivation or discipline. You're just going to do it. You're just going to move forward and make it happen. Now, you can't force yourself to be obsessed with something, but the guidance, the advice that I'm kind of repeating, admittedly, because this is what Chris Williamson talked about, the guidance is if you ever find yourself in a situation where you are obsessed with something, the only thing you're doing is thinking about that thing, then you should lean into it. Don't try and avoid it. Don't try and like shove it under the rug, because obsession is such a powerful human emotion that only is there for a small amount of time as well. Just as motivation and discipline can come and go, obsession will also come and go. But when it is there, you need to make the most of it. You need to just lean into it. Go full guns blazing into whatever thing you're obsessed with, at least for the time that you're obsessed with it. I look at my life, and it's a very interesting concept because in my life, I look back on my football journey, and I I can never say that I was obsessed with it. Maybe I had a couple of individual days, but during my days, during my time, it wasn't all that I was thinking about. I was doing other things, and perhaps if I was obsessed with it, maybe I would have done even more, and maybe I would have had a better chance of making it. But more often than not, it was I'd feel motivated to do something, or actually, I think the vast majority of it was just pure discipline, just pure grinding the teeth, going out there and doing something despite not wanting to do it. That would be a lot of my days, a lot of my training sessions, a lot of actually going out there and making it happen, rather than just being purely just obsessed, locked in. And I could figure this out because on days where I had to wake up early, I would not be kind of, I don't know if anyone can, but I'm sure there are a couple people. I'd be getting up around like 6:30 because my routine would be I'd wake up, I'd do a morning workout, right? Because I'm dedicated, I'm driven, I'm going pushing towards something, right? It would take me a long time to actually get into the workout. Like I would wake up, then I would roll over, fall back asleep for a little bit, then like I would finally roll out of bed, and then I'd just be like lying down on the floor like in my tiredness. I think if I was truly obsessed with it, if I truly had like that deeper reason and drive and purpose and obsession for it, then I probably would those feelings would have overwritten the feelings of tiredness, laziness, whatever it may have been, the lack of motivation, lack of discipline at times. And sometimes I probably fell victim to a lot of temptation because I I fell, right? Like obsession is a very, very crucial feeling, and I look back in my life and I'm like, yeah, I was never actually like at that like at that level of just pure obsessive, like really addictive behavior towards the goal, towards the journey, right? I look back and I'm like, well, yeah, maybe if I did have that, it would have maybe gone a different way. Maybe it wouldn't have because maybe there is a luck factor to it, of course. If I look back, maybe I could have done a little bit more. As much as I tried my best to make the most of each and every day, and I think I did a decent job. I think if I was truly obsessed with it, like if that was all I was thinking about, and I truly just didn't have anything else on my mind, then perhaps I maybe would have done better. At times I needed motivation, and motivation came. At times I didn't have motivation, and I used a lot of discipline. Discipline was probably the number one emotion if you're comparing the three states of being motivated, disciplined, or obsessed. Obsession is another level, and it's not a level that I have personally ever got to. But that is why when I listened to that part in Chris Williamson's Modern Wisdom episode, it really hit me because I look at myself and I'm like, yeah, like that makes sense. Like obsession is only in limited supply just as the other two are. But when it's there, it's the most powerful. And if you lean into it rather than try and avoid it, if you lean into it, it can truly create many great things for you. And I want to kind of relate it to another concept, which is basically like if you're obsessed with something, you won't let any outside factors or influences kind of get in the way. I feel like sometimes I'm victim to my own mind, my own overthinking. I'm victim to maybe other people saying something that they don't necessarily mean, but then kind of gets into my head that just kind of fuels my own overthinking even further. Certain fears, certain problems, whatever, right? I kind of fall into a lot of these patterns sometimes, and I feel like these things sometimes affected my performance on the field during the journey. I think that's absolutely true. If I was just purely obsessed and I wasn't actually thinking about it, I wouldn't have let any of these other things matter. I wouldn't have let them actually take up any space in my mind. I would have been able to just focus purely on the task at hand. And when I'm actually, and like in the moments that I did enter into that flow state, which is the flow state, you're truly just focused on the task at hand, which is playing well, making a good play, making a good pass, a good dribble, whatever it may be on the field. In my case, for you, it might be something else. When I was in that state, that was kind of that exact moment where the obsession was actually kind of there. It was at the forefront of my mind, rather than every other little piece of noise that could be within. But unfortunately, I didn't have that feeling. I never tapped into that feeling consistently enough. And I think it truly is just because you don't have control over it, right? You don't really have control over anything. You have control over motivation. You don't have control over motivation. You can wake up one day and you feel tired. You can wake up another day and feel energized. And there's nothing you really do about it, right? You could have slept the same amount of hours, but one night you just had a better sleep and you feel better, you feel ready to go, versus another day you wake up and you just don't feel up for it, right? Discipline you maybe have a little bit more control over in terms of actually like it's up to you, right? Regardless of how you feel, you still do the thing, you still give 100% effort. But at the same time, willpower is also in a limited resource. If you wake up maybe 10 days in a row and you feel the exact same way and you keep grinding, eventually you are going to like break. Eventually you are going to burn out a bit because you can only do so much of it. But then obsession is just, again, it's, as I said, it's just another level where you don't need any of that. But you wake up and you just go, right? You don't even think about how you feel. You don't even think about anything. You just go because you need to do it. You got a bigger purpose, right? You're not letting the feelings in your mind or the feelings you have determine anything. You're just focused solely on the goal, the task at hand, doing the thing, being very gung-ho, going towards it, right? And I think that's a beautiful thing. So the message is pretty simple. If you ever find that is the only thing you're thinking about, that there is a thing that you are truly obsessed with, lean into it, double down on it. And that obsession will wane. It will kind of go away a little bit because it will only be there for short bursts. But if you can build the foundations while you have that obsessive mindset, then from there you can build from it. And once that obsession kind of drops, you can let discipline and the occasional motivation come in and build things further. You've built the routines and the habits already, and then you can just keep moving forward, and it ends up becoming a part of your life. A big example for me right now is the gym. I look at the gym, and I'm in the gym a few times a week, and I literally was telling my friend the other day, like I just kind of come to the gym now, like it's just a part of me. It's just my identity now. I do it, and I don't even think about it. It's not even there's never really a problem in me going to the gym. Like I never have to push through boundaries to go to the gym. Every time I wake up and I want to go to the gym, I'm like, I'll just go to the gym, right? Or I have to go to the gym that day. I don't even have to think twice. That is kind of the residue, the end goal of an obsessive behavior is like it ends up just being a part of you. But it's a good thing. Being in the gym consistently is a very good thing. It's a very healthy thing. One more thing I want to warn you about when it comes to obsession before I wrap up this episode is obsession can be bad. Right? You can be obsessed with the wrong things. And that's why social media takes us over so much. That's why there's so many distractions everywhere. You can end up becoming obsessed with the wrong things. You can be obsessed with a video game. Moments when I was a kid, I definitely had a level of obsession with video games at times. And it kind of ruined me because all I was thinking about after school was coming home and playing the game. And that's all I would do for a few months. And then eventually I figured, oh, this is actually harming me more than it's helping me, so let's cut it off. That's kind of how I go about it. But obsessiveness can be for something negative. So you need to know, is this obsessive behavior for something good, right? Are you obsessed with something that is going to be beneficial? Whether it is like a goal, a career, a pursuit, something you love to do, a hobby, whatever it may be that is good for you, that is beneficial for you. If it is, then you absolutely should lean into it. Right? Don't let outside opinions affect you. Don't let your internal overthinking mechanisms, fears, whatever affect you. Lean into the obsession that you have and let that kind of take you over, and it will be a positive end result. But if the obsession you have is something negative, if it is something that's going to harm you, like video games, for example, like all of the many distractions that are in this world today, that are it's very easy for you to fall into it and become obsessed with it, you need to cut it off. I think the best way is to cut it off completely. If it's a video game, you got to delete the game, right? If it's a show, you got to just stop watching the show, right? Don't stop trying to convince yourself you're only going to watch one episode because it's never going to happen, right? Stop watching the show. Delete the Netflix or turn off the TV, unplug the TV or whatever you have to do. If you need to go that extreme, yes, for sure, do it. But if you don't need to go extreme, if you have a little bit more self-control, then just take a couple of smaller methods and mechanisms in order to avoid that type of obsession. So human brains are wired in a very weird way, right? You cannot control where the obsession comes in, when it comes in, and you cannot control what you end up being obsessed with. It's just something that piques your curiosity. It's something that makes you feel interested. It makes you feel a little bit more engaged, and you can't control when that happens. But what you can control is how you respond to it consciously, how you respond to it. So if it's a good obsession, if you become obsessed with your overarching goal for how you want to live your life, whatever it may be, then lean into it. Then do it. Go even further towards it. But if it's a bad obsession, be very, very careful because that can end up destroying you. And it can end up harming you way, way more than it could ever help you. So be careful, right? So you got those three things. You got motivation and discipline, which are the very, very big concepts talked about often. And I don't need to talk anymore about them. And obsession is like the third level, right? The third level of kind of consciousness, if you want to call it. The third level of being. The third level of going out there and achieving a pursuit. And going out there and achieving many great dreams and goals, right? It is obsession. And Where does obsession come from? It comes from a variety of different places. But you don't really need to know where it comes from. You just need to know that if you ever end up in that situation where you feel like you can't stop thinking about a certain thing, lean into it more. Lean into it more, and it will benefit you. Again, of course, if it is a good thing. I truly believe that when you're obsessed with something, it is a great gift from God. It is a message from God to tell you, hey, this is the thing you should be looking towards. And a lot of people, they look at the obsession and they try to suppress it because maybe their obsession will take them outside of the realms of normality. It'll take them outside of the realms of being average. Everyone around you will judge you, right? So you try to oppress it and you try to just let it leave you. But when you have obsession, I think it is God's greatest gift. It's his greatest blessing because he's telling you, and it's very obvious, it ends up becoming obvious. Hey, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to lean into. And unfortunately for me, I haven't really had that yet. Of course, I'm still young. There's still a lot of time for me to eventually get to that feeling. But if you have that in some regard, in some capacity in your life, you should absolutely lean into it. I think it'd be the greatest mistake to let your fears take over your decisions. And that would be the exact thing if you are obsessed with something, but then you just kind of suppress it and let the obsession kind of go away. Because it will go away and it will go into someone else who will kind of go in and lean into it and achieve the great things that you really wanted to achieve with yourself. So if you truly want it, you got to go out and get it, right? It's that simple. But I think that level of obsession, that level of drive, that purpose, it really is God's greatest gift. He only gives it to certain people. So if you have it, absolutely just make the most of it. Make the most of it. Don't let other people tell you what to do. Don't let your own internal mind tricks convince you otherwise. Obsession is a good thing. And it is a thing that will help you move in an even greater way, kind of exponentially. Go out there and achieve your goals and basically do whatever you can to actually get there. And it's a great thing. Be careful with it. Of course, you need to put it and direct the energy into the right place. But if you can find the right combination, it'll be very good for you. So that's all I got to say for today. The whole relationship between motivation, discipline, and then adding obsession. It's a very interesting thing to me, I think, about my own experiences. And maybe I have to reflect even more about what I actually want to do, right? Like what actually is going to make me obsessed that'll actually give me that drive to actually go a little bit further, take that extra step that I haven't really been able to in recent years, right? I got to think a little bit more about myself and about my own things, but this is an interesting concept that hopefully can be applied to you in your life in a significant way. So thank you for watching this episode of the 365 podcast. I appreciate you for being here. I hope you learned something. I hope you go and you actually lean into the obsessions that you have, the good, positive obsessions that you have to achieve many great things in your life. Thanks for watching. As always, show your support in every way that you can. Of course, if you enjoyed, let me know, right? The only way you can let me know is by liking the video, subscribing, following on Spotify, doing those great things, leaving a comment, showing your support, interacting with the video as much as you can. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. That's all I got to say for today. Continue to glorify God throughout your life every day. And I'm going to wrap this up as always. I'll see you tomorrow for the next episode.